can do to give us some reinforcements.
Is Ray's resignation effective as of this meeting, or?
I told him to send a letter to, since we serve at the pleasure of the governor, I guess it officially goes to the governor, and I suggested that it be sent to the governor through Barbara and see if that can be put in the right spot.
Okay.
So if he hadn't called any of you to tell you that, he did call a couple of weeks ago, and said that he sold his house and he's gone. He has another place down in North Carolina, so that's where he's heading.
Okay. No, I was not aware of that. I knew he was planning to do that. I just didn't know it happened.
I think that COVID gave him the final impetus that he needed. And as he said, they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, so he took it.
Okay.
Good man.
Yeah, we're going to miss him.
Yes.
Lucky for him.
We're going to miss him.
We'll take the roll of the remaining members. Jonathan Wolf.
Here.
Richard Swezak.
Here.
Rob Lewandowski.
Here.
Bob Doan.
Here.
And the ever-faithful Al Regina.
Here.
Ken Peterson.
Here.
Curtis Smith.
Here.
And Ray Redness is on his way to North Carolina. So now we finally got ready to go here around 9:10. We can move right into our, we'll do our correspondence first, then take on some LS issues in the minutes. And then Curtis and I was going to say Ray, but he's not here, and Ken can go back to work, and we'll finish up on everything else.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
In our initial correspondence, we had a couple letters from NCWS just to document changes that have happened since COVID set in. Test sites are unavailable. Some sites were canceled. Really a nice summation. They're still planning to have a pencil and paper in April of 21. So we'll see how that goes. And otherwise, the summary is there for all to read to the changes that have occurred. The next item in our correspondence file was an update about the inability to provide testing sites. So one suggestion was that we look into finding an alternate site, such as at a casino, because the Indian reservations have different regulations than the state. Well, that's interesting, but probably won't come to fruition. But that was the essence of item A2.
Okay.
And then Barbara put out a list of candidates that have passed the computer-based testing exams for mechanical. One was a mechanical, one was a chemical engineer. And we also had 3 newly licensed land surveyors, Bruner, Dutch, and Webb. And Barbara has proposed meeting dates for 2021. At this point, they all look good to me. Does anybody have any conflicts?
Not at this time.
Not at this
time, right? So we'll go with that for now. If there's any other comment, discussion about the letters of correspondence, let me know. But I think that history of what we've done since COVID came upon us is good to have. All right. I guess the next item of business we can handle with everybody present is the minutes from August 11th. Hard to believe that we're already in October.
All right.
But other than to note that we still have 3 public members vacant, we can note now that we are lacking a surveyor. Is there a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, I guess that motion carries. So the minutes from August 11th are approved. Which leads us into our regular agenda. on which we do have one land surveying, or two actually, land surveying items on page 10 of our regular agenda. The land surveyor members reviewed Blue and Associates PA Professional Corporation from Arkansas and SLR International from Bothwell, Washington. I did want to read in Ray's comments, if I can grab it here for a minute. Hold on. All right, bear with me for a minute. This is Ray's comments. I'll read it to you quickly. Hi guys, I have a moving company at the house, had intended to be on the call but can't free up. I looked at the applications and don't understand how a Washington company with no licensed people can practice surveying corporately with a local surveyor who owns none of the stock. I also doubt the guy looking to be reinstated has only two, I don't know what he means. Only just two jobs in 9 months and can't refer to the surveys as their appropriate titles. As built in site plan are not survey types. So let's go back to the guy from Washington. He doesn't understand how we can have a corporate license with a local surveyor who owns none of the stock, but that's the way the law is written.
Right.
Agreed?
Yep.
Yeah.
So does anyone have another comment then about the proposal or the application for authorization as land surveying for Blue and Associates?
Tony,
PA Corporation.
they have to be a full-time employee. The one signing has to be a full-time employee.
I don't have the application, so I can't see that, but
I don't either.
Yeah.
what they're saying under Blue Associates from Arkansas, they have a licensed surveyor, Mr. Brunner, as their surveyor. So does that mean he's a full-time or not? I don't know. Perhaps we could question that.
Because the ones I review, they will give a statement that they're a full-time employee and they're responsible for all the jobs in Connecticut.
Okay.
Is that true? I actually hadn't heard that before, about that they need to be full-time. This is the first time I'm hearing that. Not that I have a problem with it. I just didn't realize that was one of the requirements.
I've always held that as a requirement for the PE ones, and I thought it was stated. Let me
check that, because I would question that actually.
Yeah, let me find my cheat sheet.
In the SLR application, there's a letter signed by Michael Mansfield that says, in connection with the application for certificate of registration for SLR International, I acknowledge and agree that I will be responsible for signing and sealing documents on behalf of SLR International Corporation. So I'm sure he's being compensated for that. So he must be an employee or consultant or something to that extent.
And maybe I'm wrong then, but I thought that was a requirement. But
Well, what's interesting to note, I was just looking back to see if I thought I saw it, and I did. Mr. Jerome Brunner recently licensed about in our last minutes. Jerome Brunner, Class 8, reviewed by a land surveyor. So that's Jerome Brunner. He's now the licensed land surveyor.
Yeah.
Okay. Good catch. I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that now.
So you must have some contact to somebody down in Arkansas, huh?
Yeah.
Or do you go and find the most recent licensee and call them up?
yeah,
The original applications that we have before they went online, it does say, if you look at the for the surveyors, the Blue and Associates, they do put basis of engagement, and they ask for part-time, full-time, or etc. I think that's where Bob Doan saw the information regarding how they're employed by the company, whether it's full-time or part-time.
Okay.
But I think that's where you've seen it, Bob.
Yeah. All right.
So
is
it could be a part-time.
It could be.
employee. Yeah.
Okay. I've always required full-time, but okay. I stand corrected.
So the way Ray's interpreting this on SLR, for example, they're a corporation. The corporation employs a surveyor, and the corporation becomes licensed. And as long as we have a designated employee, not unlike Bechtel or some other large conglomerate, then they've satisfied our statutes.
Yeah, I agree. That's been our interpretation in the past.
Yep.
Right.
So is there a motion to approve Blue and Associates and SLR International for corporate practice of land surveying?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ken.
I'll second it.
Was that Al? Thank you, Al.
I'm not sure there's any other surveyors there, are there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we have Curtis, Ken, Al, me, and Robert. All those in favor of the motion to approve
Okay.
Blue and Associates and SLR International, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. With Ray's comments noted. The next item on our regular agenda, printed out in a form that I can barely read, which is our complaints summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Two items appear to be an issue of ethical conduct. Each of them seems to be resolved on the basis of insufficient evidence of unsubstantiated, fictitious complaint in both cases. And I don't know if it was the same, two different people. So it was open, it was closed, and that's it. It says here that I don't understand. It says, let's see. Respondent disputes the allegations, his references and documentation, okay, and already went to the board for review and approval. Is that our board?
I'm not sure. I'd have to, if this is ours, it would have to be our board, I would assume. Because this is all for the engineering and surveying board.
So it doesn't say whether it was an engineering or surveying issue.
It says
But the
engineering
comments-
on the right-hand side.
Oh, there it goes. Thank you. But each of them are resolved apparently with unsubstantiated evidence. That's the way I read it. I don't know what anybody else could see out of it.
But the issue I have is it says review and approval. It comes to us for review. We don't approve anything.
I don't remember ever discussing it.
No. All we've ever seen is a list of complaints, but we never see, but we have not seen anything more about that. So we should
Correct.
ask what that means.
Yeah.
Can you find out, Barb?
Sure. Yeah, Janita wasn't able to, she had another meeting, so she could have answered the question, or Pam Brown, but yeah.
So that was page 1. Now, why do we not have them all together? I guess we do. So professional.
She kind of gave you two separate ones. They're by month. So the one report was from January through May, and then the other one seemed to have been from June until July.
Okay.
The second page.
Got it?
Yeah.
So on the second page, workmanship, ethical. So the way I would read it is There's one open case for Fletcher Thompson, but they say it's a duplicate case. Where is the duplicate from? All right, let's just go down the list. On the first one, it was it looks to be a surveying issue, workmanship. It's going to court. Mediation is unsuccessful, civil matter. The licensee tried to mediate the complaint. They wouldn't hear it, so they're going to take him to court. Okay, second one, no action. Evidence did not support the allegation. Was an engineering issue. The third one, no action, no violation. Legal talk to housing already. Closed case, as the engineer isn't violating anything by having an HOI do field work. There's not a violation of their licensing statutes. Housing can require just a PE to do the work for their grant requirements. So somebody complained that somebody was doing work for the housing authority, but it seems to be resolved. The last one was, the next one was Buckley Reynolds, no further action. It's a civil matter. Dispute of facts. The complainant did not have a contract with the respondent and did not pay him anything. The title company had the contract and paid the surveyor. Okay, that's good.
Yep,
Glad to see that the surveyor got paid for a change.
that's right. I agree with that.
Then the next one was an engineer. No action, no violation. Evidence did not support the allegation. So when the investigator decides that the evidence did not support the allegation, I guess that assumes that the complainant just said, okay, I dropped the case, I can't win. Is that the way it goes?
Usually they do contact the complainant to tell them what their investigation has shown, and then they would notify them, and obviously the complainant didn't agree or wanted them to continue, then they would have to continue on from there.
Right, so then it goes to civil.
Correct.
Okay. So it looks like we have one open case, and she says it's a duplicate case, which I don't understand there, but it's probably still in an investigation.
Right.
All right. Any further comments on the complaint summary? I would like to know what is meant by sent to the board.
Okay.
For future reference anyway. All right. Then we would move on to our supplemental agenda. And on that application, and that agenda, we do have one surveying issue, which was the request of Joel Fuller for reinstatement from January of 19. He paid the fees and listed the projects that were signed during the lapse. Is there a motion to reinstate?
So moved.
Thank you,
I'll
Curtis.
second.
Thank you, Ken. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Which I believe concludes our correspondence, our minutes, and our land surveying issues.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't see anything else.
Okay. Barbara, when's our next meeting?
December 8th.
December 8th.
Yes.
Thank you. So I will.
Oh, Tony,
Yes, sir.
can we make some sort of resolution before we lose the land surveyors and thanking Ray for his service and everything,
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
for his long standing faithful service and contribution to the board.
To the board and to the profession.
Yes.
And, well, who wants to make that resolution?
I'll be glad to help. I mean, do you want me to write something or?
Yeah,
what?
I think so. In
Yeah.
the form that it should be, and
That'd
maybe
be
we'll
great.
get. We'll probably never get another proclamation like we got for Andy those numbers of years ago, right?
Yeah.
But we can do something close. Andy Marcus.
Yeah, Andy Farr, we went out to lunch
Yeah.
and everything. I think you picked up the tab for lunch for everybody, Tony, if I remember.
I don't think so, but it was a
Oh,
good
wow.
idea. Maybe I did. I doubt it. But anyway, Curtis, you're a wordsmith because your name is a Smith. See, so you're going to be Curtis the wordsmith.
Okay. Should I
Why don't you
draft
do
something?
that? Maybe we could do. If you can get something somewhat formal looking, and we'll pass it around. We can sign it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Should I
send it around?
Should I forward it to Barbara for so she can put it on the state letterhead, or what do you have in mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. I'll coordinate with Barbara on it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Will do.
Good idea, Bob. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So with that, I guess we can excuse the surveyors.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
Have
Don't be
a
moving
good month,
south yet.
guys.
See you guys.
Barbara's got 2 more years. We have to support her for 2 more years, she said.
Year and a half.
Oh, come on. But who's counting?
We better start making some contingency plans.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Time moves on. We got to do it.
Thank you. Take care. Yeah. Bye.
Thanks, Curtis. Thanks.
Okay,
Ken.
guys.
thank you.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, stay healthy.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's next.
That's right.
Coming up.
Just have to get a smaller turkey for everybody this year.
That's it.
All right, let's move into our regular agenda. It was on page 6. I reviewed 3 applicants for Class 1 Credit Part 1. And no problem with any of them. I always like to note that when we get an evaluation, such as the one for Mr. Garcia, there's perfect, no problems. Everything is on the money from Puerto Rico. Then he proceeded to get a master's and a PhD here in the States. So I would accept the motion to accept my recommendation for Mr. Lavallo Garcia and presume.
So move.
Pretty good. Thank you, John.
Second.
Thanks, Bob. All those in favor say aye.
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 Bye.
Any opposed? You know what I should do to make it, I don't know if it's legal or not, is it? If I just say anybody opposed, we have such a small group. The next group of applicants were for Class 4 reciprocity. And Rob Lewandowski reviewed the group Cashman through Woodrow on page 6.
Yeah, so I reviewed them all. 2 non-model law applicants. Heidi Cashman was a non-model law because she had a foreign undergraduate degree, but she did have a master's degree from Utah State. Her undergraduate degree was from Dominican Republic. It was evaluated as equivalent. And then on top of that, again, she got her master's degree at Utah State. So we'll lump her into the okay pile. And the second outlier was Toby Woodrow at the bottom. He was a non-model law because he had a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering technical degree from Purdue University, but he does have 13 years experience. And so with that said, all the other ones are model law, all good experience, all straightforward applications. So with that said, I recommend all for approval.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Was Woodrow evaluated by the NCEES?
I could look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
And the forestry degree of the other candidate was evaluated by, and
The other degree was a civil engineer in BSCE.
okay.
And
I was,
Okay, I was unable, Rob, to actually hear most of what you said. I don't know if there was any objections in there.
I'm questioning one.
What's your question? Did NCES review it?
Yes, is it an equivalent degree, or is it, because I worry about technology degrees.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere here in what I have, Barbara.
But is it a 4-year degree that looks?
Rob, did I send, usually I would have sent the transcript if NCS included it in that record.
Yeah, I have the Purdue transcripts that I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's a 4-year degree, 133 credits, undergrad.
Okay.
Now he didn't he didn't list it on his education, but there's also an Indiana University some additional credits at Indiana University. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a 4-year degree at Purdue.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I sometimes my speaker. They're all model law, Tony, except for 2 candidates. Heidi Cashman was a foreign degree from Dominican Republic, and NCES evaluated it, and it was equivalent. And then on top of that, she ended up with a master's in civil engineering from Utah State. So, and she has 12 years experience on top of all that. So she was good. And then the second one was Toby Woodrow. And again, technical degree from Purdue with 13 years experience. So those are the only 2 non-model law engineer applicants. So with that said, I recommend approval for them all.
Well, I'll just go through. Any opposed to the, well, I need a second motion there. Sorry.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Al. Any opposed to the motion to approve all applicants from Cashman through Woodrow on page 6, say aye. Or no, any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Maybe I'll go back to the way we were. All right.
Confuse yourself.
Just one more word. All right, the next group of class 4 applicants was Allwood through Luo on page 6, reviewed by John DeWolf.
There are 4 more on page 7. So I'm going to move that Allwood through Seguin at the end on page 7 all be approved subject to verification of current licensure for Holt.
Sure.
Holt expired in April.
Okay, is there a second to the motion to approve Allwood through Luo on page 6 and Mosseri through Seguin on page 7?
Second.
Thanks, Al. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. The next group of class 4 applicants were reviewed by Richard Swezak from Beron to Westlock on page 7.
Okay, basically Mr. Scaringella is a non-model law. He had an engineering technology degree from the University of Delaware, and I did check it out in terms of it took him 6 years to do it, and you know I guess about 100 and 52 credits. But he had a double degree. He had another, Bachelor of Science of Applied Sciences also. And he did get his master's from Rowan University in 2019. So, and he does have 12 years of experience. So with that said, the rest of them were model law. In terms of, I did have 2 applicants that had misdemeanors. Mr. Pelier had a drug paraphernalia when he was in college, I guess, arrest. And now he has a son, so he's all set. He's, he says that's way behind him now. And Mr. Westlock had careless driving misdemeanor. And so I'll make a motion that we do approve all of them with the verification that Mr. Chrisman has an active license.
Okay.
Because it's expired in September.
For a second?
Second.
Thank you, Robert. All those in favor of the motion to approve Barron through Westlock for class 4 reciprocity, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
The only thing I want to add to my review is that Mr. Michael Lemper-Skovolsky actually graduated from, I guess the New York University in 2014. He got his master's in 2016. And he has like 5 years and 4 months of experience with a master's degree, but he started his own company about a year ago. And just as a commentary, I'm not sure that people who only have 3 years of experience really have enough experience to run a company without, proper oversight from other engineers. So, but, I guess, that's just my opinion in terms of, I just found it strange that, with 3 years of experience, he decided to start his own company. And I'm not sure that, I know I was not ready to do that with all the different possibilities of engineering and all the different requirements that we have to, abide by, that it's difficult to believe that, somebody with that little experience can actually start his own company. But, buyer beware, I guess, because we cannot, prevent them from becoming licensed in our state. That's just a comment. I don't know. I don't know that it means anything, but
It's a valid comment.
Right. The next group of applicants in the class 4 reciprocity were Ali through Murator that I reviewed on page 7. I would like to separate out Mr. Joseph Chapman, which I'll discuss later. Otherwise, I reviewed all the other applicants: Ali, Bailey, Colette, Frederick, Juby, Lick, and Murator. I would recommend approval with the condition that Mr. Lick be verified as currently licensed because it expired in June of 2020. So is there a motion to accept my recommendation to approve all but Chapman for reciprocity?
So moved. I will move.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Is there a second?
second.
Thank you, Richard. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. So my concern is around Mr. Joseph Chapman. In 2002, I believe, let me just check that from my notes here. In 2002, he received a Bachelor in Engineering Physics from Northwest Nazarene University. The evaluation done by NCEES concluded boldly, not equivalent. Usually it's, they don't make that statement in bold, but it said not equivalent. The deficiencies were missing biology and chemistry, and under engineering, they were missing 12 hours. So then, subsequent to that, Mr. Chapman attended Boise State on a non-degree program, and that was in bear with me, shortly thereafter, from September of 02 to December of 03, so for a year. And the transcript shows structures 1, engineering property of soils, structural steel design, and reinforced concrete design, but he withdrew. So that was the extent of his extra study. He's licensed in Idaho. And right now he's a structural engineer at DC Engineering, which is located in Idaho. So the main thing is he started out with a physics degree, which is inconsistent with our policy and did not, in my opinion, supplement the education in any way, shape, or form equivalent to the undergrad degree. And I think that if I had shown it to John, he probably would have agreed, but definitely physics degree. So he calls it a, let's see, what was it described? Bachelor's in Engineering Physics. I have no way of knowing if it was accredited as engineering.
But it was evaluated?
Evaluation by NCSS just says the outcome, not equivalent. The deficiencies were in missing biology and chemistry, and in engineering, they were missing 12 hours. General education was fine, electives were fine, but the missing of 12 hours in that. There's no transcript. Yeah, there's no transcript for the undergraduate degree.
And when they, Tony, when they evaluated it, they didn't include the extra courses he took?
No, sir, they did not. And I don't have the transcript for Nazarene University. So I don't even know where it was.
You said NCS said he was 12 credits short in math, though, didn't you?
Sorry, Rob, I didn't hear you.
Did you say NCS said he was 12 credits short in math?
The shortages by NCSS were in, it just says 12 credits of engineering, 12 hours of engineering.
I thought you said math. Okay.
No. As far as general education and electives, those were no deficiencies, but engineering curriculum was missing 12 hours of engineering. So
could we ask him to have it evaluated with the extra courses?
I think that's fair, and also to provide the transcript so you can look at it from the undergraduate physics degree, because they list it as a in the education, it talks about bachelor's in engineering physics. Why was it evaluated is my question. Because it must not be ABET accredited. Would you agree with that, Barbara?
Most likely, but I think, yeah, sometimes I'm not sure with NCS on their evaluations when it comes to the, whether it's ABET or not ABET accredited. I assume they were looking at the courses themselves, but I definitely can ask for or double check on that. What is it? The NCS record to see if there is any other information that they gave, and if there's anything else that you want me to have them.
I would think that initially we should ask for the transcript from the Northwest Nazarene University. And then, as John suggests, ask for the evaluation with consideration for the Boise State non-degree courses. That would be fair, I think, to assess it.
Okay.
So can I make a motion? I will move that it be returned for evaluation of the undergraduate degree plus the additional courses.
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Robert. All those in favor of the motion to request the transcript of the Northwest Nazarene University program and a reevaluation, including the non-degree courses from Boise State, All those in favor of that motion say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. I think that's the right way to do it on that one. Okay, moving on. Bob Doan reviewed the next group of applicants for Class 4, Ayub through Ma on page 7, and Maryville through Zubrick on page 8.
Okay. They were all model law engineers except for Elliott and Jean Zio. I knew I wouldn't get that right. Jean-Gio Ma. Ma had a degree from China and it was evaluated and it is equivalent. Elliott had a technical degree from Oklahoma State University. It was he had 140 credits. It was in fire protection and safety technology. So a lot of the engineering courses I didn't recognize in the transcript, but it took him from 1998 to 2007 to get the technical degree. But it is a 4-year degree and he does have 13 years experience. So I'm inclined to approve it, but I saw John grimace when I said it, so I'd open it up for comments. John, if you...
What does the evaluation say about the degree?
It was not evaluated.
And it isn't listed as a acceptable degree in the major list, Barbara?
Which one is that?
Oklahoma State University.
I would have to check that. That one I'm not sure of. I would have to check.
We could It's funny because I didn't see an evaluation, John, but the transcript is the official transcript was issued to NCEES credential evaluations, but I don't see a summary or an evaluation.
Is this one of the ones with the one-page form that shows the degree and everything else?
Yeah.
What do they show on that form?
They just show that it's non-ABET. That's why he's not a model law engineer. He has the PE exam, the FE exam. He has a 4+ years experience, but he doesn't have the ABET degree because I think because it's a tech degree.
Could we have it evaluated?
Sure.
Barbara?
Yeah, I'm just double checking to see if I have the full I should have the full record just to be sure. Maybe I didn't give Bob what he needed. So it's a possibility.
It may have already been evaluated because the transcript was sent to...
Exactly. I could have done the wrong...
To NCES.
Yeah, I could have also done the wrong when I printed it. I'm waiting to see if it'll pop up for me. I'll keep looking for it while you guys, if you want to.
Okay, well,
continue on something else.
I'll move on to one other one. For Wright, he's a model law but he was denied reciprocity in Indiana and Rhode Island. And the reason he was denied was that Indiana requires a minimum of 3 years of professional experience after a master's degree, which he has, prior to taking the PE exam. So it was just out of sequence. He has everything required, and but they denied him, and Rhode Island denied him for the same reason. But subsequent to that, he took the 16-hour California structure exam, and he has 5 years, 10 months. But I thought it was interesting that Indiana and Rhode Island denied him, even though he's a model law engineer.
That's okay. Shouldn't be a problem for us.
Oh, no, it's not. I don't think it is at all. But so the only question I have is Elliot, then. I'll narrow it down to that.
Excuse me, Bob?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking at Ziad Mao, the one that I did not give you the full evaluation. So the outcome of it came out as equivalent. He had no deficiencies in anything, math, science, or engineering, or general education. So the evaluation that I neglected to print for you, I gave you the wrong printing.
Okay.
That from NCES, there is an evaluation done and there was no deficiencies.
And
for this degree.
that's the one for Elliot?
No, I'm sorry, Ziad Mao?
Yeah, Ma is okay, yes.
Okay.
It was
Is there another one you want me to look up just in case? Or?
Yeah, Elliot was the one that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was the other one, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, Elliot was the tech degree where the transcript was sent to NCEES, but there's no conclusion from NCEES.
Okay.
If you want to move on, and we can wait, we can ask for an evaluation for Elliot, if you'd like.
Why the evaluation for the technical degree? We've had numerous technical degree applicants approved, as long as they had the experience following the degree, as our regulations allow.
Yeah,
You need more experience after a technical degree, though.
Yeah, he has it, John. He has 13 years.
Okay, let's just go with it.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to approve all the entire group.
Second.
Thank you, John. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. We do have a group of applicants for Class 9 license, Accorda through Winfield on page 8. Variety of universities and schools. So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, John. The second?
Second.
Thank you, Robert. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. We have, let's see, corporate practice of engineering applicants, which are listed on page 9. Yes. I don't focus on the names as much as the application. So I reviewed Mr. Joseph Johnson Engineering DPC. The only question I have is, what is the DPC, and should I be concerned about that?
I'm not really sure myself.
Okay. It was interesting that it's on the secretary's list also. I just don't know what the DPC is. And if you look on the Secretary of State, it's DPC PC. So I just don't know what that is. But if it's good enough for the Secretary of State, I guess it's okay for us. So if our legal, since we don't have a legal here, I just don't know what whether or not to be concerned. But the Secretary of State seems to think that it's in order. So I would recommend approval of Joseph Johnson Engineering DPC and SMS Engineering PC as being properly what do I say? Well, I'll rephrase it. I would recommend approval of Joseph Johnson Engineering DPC and SMS Engineering PC as in accordance with our statutes and regulations.
So moved.
Thank you, Robert.
Second.
Thank you, Richard.
Tony, it comes up District Planning Commission. They're out of New York.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
The District Planning Commission.
Okay.
So then when they come to Connecticut, they're listed as a PC, DPC, PC. Yeah. Transacting business in the state of Connecticut under the name of DPC, PC. Okay. All right. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Bob Doan reviewed the next group of applicants. Bear with me for a moment, which are BHB Consulting Engineers, Inc., Concord Engineering Group, Inc., Lynch Mikens Structural Engineers, PC, and RDH Building Science, Inc.
I make a motion to approve all four of them.
Second it.
Thank you, Al. All those in favor of the motion to approve, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And we took care of the land surveying on our regular agenda. So that leads us to our supplemental agenda. Okay. All right, I reviewed the first two applicants for Class 1 exam credit part 1, Mr. Fabiano Borges and Mr. Hector Vasquez. Mr. Borges had an evaluation, it was very good. He has a master's in environmental engineering after a BS in civil from Brazil. And Mr. Hector Vasquez is a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering back in '03 from City College in New York. So I would recommend approval for Class 1 exam credit part 1. Is there a motion to accept the recommendation? Thank you, John.
Second.
Second. Thank you, Richard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. John DeWolf reviewed Bramer through Johnson for Class 4 license on page 1 of our supplemental agenda.
Okay, I'm going to move all four, but I just want to note that Fioclau, or I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, it was a convoluted list of experience. He has 3 degrees through the PhD from UMass, and apparently during the process, he worked part way through the PhD. He is shown on the overall form to have more than 4 years of experience, and I will move all 4. But it was just a confusing thing. I spent a long time trying to work out how he got it to his 2 years of required experience. But I'm satisfied he's okay.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rob. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Rob Lewandowski reviewed Muller, Riley, Sikora, and Schober for Class 4.
Yeah, all four are model law, straightforward applications, good experience, good degrees. I recommend approval of all four.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Al. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And Richard reviewed Stolze and Withrow for class 4.
You know, I unfortunately, Barbara, when you sent me I guess my applications, you included Zachary instead of Stolzen.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, and I thought you gave Rob my Stolzen and I got his Zachary, but I guess we both got Zachary. And so in that sense, I did not get the Stoltz, but if you can email it to me, I can look at it maybe today and sort of review it. But, you know, I didn't look at it till late last night, and I just thought that we got our things switched. But
yeah,
we didn't.
What happens to me?
So, but you know, I could make a motion that Weatherall and Zachary are both okay, but then we do Zachary twice. But
right, sorry about that.
So we're just missing Stolz?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you send it to me, I can sort of review it, and then maybe I'll just pass it on to the entire, group and sort of give my evaluation that way.
That would be great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, in regard to Withrow.
Yeah, I mean, he has he went to the Colorado School of Mines, graduated with a Bachelor of Science in 1993, has 24 years of experience, so he's fine.
The only thing he's lacking is a first name, that's all.
No, he has Christopher somewhere.
Yeah, but I didn't put it on there.
There is a Christopher. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my list over here. Not.
All right, there's a motion by Richard to approve Christopher Withrow for class 4 reciprocity. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Robert. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Now we have the corporate practice of engineering applicant, Councilman Hunsaker and Associates from St. Louis, and Geoengineers Inc. from Washington, both reviewed by Bob Doan.
I'll make a motion to approve Councilman and Hunsaker.
Second.
Thank you, Richard. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing on that, motion carries.
For Barbara, for geoengineers, I have just 2 pages, which is their first page is the application, second page is the Secretary of State. I don't have any information on Bronchevik or whatever's the PE, the licensed PE that's signing. I don't, he's not even mentioned on the application.
Yeah, I may have given you the wrong one. What I did is that she signed off, or he signed off on the second page of the application. So I may have not given that to you.
Okay.
I had 2 of them going, but there was a signature regarding for geoengineers for that, Yelena.
Yeah, and so you have a statement that.
Yes, I have her
Yelena's
signing off. Yeah, she signed off on the regular app.
Okay. All right, and with a statement that she's responsible for. Okay.
Yeah. She's
All
listed in the group of engineers responsible.
Okay. With that, I'll make a motion to approve geoengineers.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Al. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. We have 2 applicants for reinstatement, Casson and Sylvia, reviewed by Richard Swezak.
Okay, I did review those, and they are acceptable to our standards in terms of they were previously registered, and they did send letters of indicating that they did not sign in or seal any drawings during their time of, I guess, lapse, registration. So
Is there a second?
We approve that the reinstatements.
Second.
Thanks, Rob. All those in favor of the motion to approve Casson and Sylvia for reinstatement, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And now Bob Doe's going to review the application for Matthew Loser to the point where he let it lapse since 2012, but he was actively involved in another state. So he's not a loser. He's doing it and following it by the regulations. So Mr. Doe, do you have a recommendation on reinstating Mr. Loser?
Yes, I gave him credit, and I'm pronouncing it Lazer.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, he was currently licensed, and he signed an affidavit that he did not sign or seal anything. And I make a motion to approve Matthew's reinstatement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Al. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Which I believe completes our agenda.
I just sent Richard Justin Stoltz, but we don't have to wait. I know because it's too much, but I just sent it for Richard to look at.
Well, let's take a look at it then. Mr. Justin Stoltz.
Did you get it, Richard, or no?
I'm trying to,
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get to it in terms of somehow, here I am. Let me minimize this. Let me minimize that. Let me go to my, I did not get it yet. I got something from Metal Architecture at 10:08, but I haven't seen anything.
I also sent it again to you, Richard, and to John, and to Tony. I miss Rob. Any of you guys get it yet?
I didn't get it yet.
Okay.
No, I don't have it. I'm looking.
Yeah, I just sent it, but maybe because of the attachment, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I got one.
Okay, that could be your first one.
All right.
Yeah, I see that one went through. I'm not sure about the other.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm just looking at it. He is model law. He got his bachelor's in chemical engineering from Cooper Union in 2000. He got a master's of mechanical engineering from the University of Tokyo. He did take his fundamentals in New York and his principles in New York. And he took a structurals test in Texas. Let's look at his experience. That doesn't mean anything. He was in Tokyo for a while, I guess. There he goes again. Okay. Graduate engineer in 2006, responsible with structural engineering. Let me go up here again. 12 years experience, right? 2000, all right. Oh, I got your second one, I think.
I think everybody else got it. Maybe Tony got his too, maybe.
Mine is just now downloading. It's getting here now.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a model law engineer.
Correct.
He's got Cooper Union, can't beat it. University of Tokyo, for some reason, mechanical masters.
Well, you know, he's been doing a lot of foreign work, or, you know,
Yeah,
non-US work.
you know, so it's fine. He's a
Right.
Cooper Union, a graduate, passed the exams, he's a model law engineer. I would have no problem.
Yep. No, I'm looking at his experience. I'm just going to go look through his transcript real quick and make sure that we get his. Okay, he doesn't have any lapses in license, or he wasn't denied anything, and he wasn't disciplined, which is a good thing.
He looks fine. I just got it. It looks good to me.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I'm just going to check one more thing. Oh, there's the Japanese one, or Tokyo.
Worked on Olympic
I
structure.
can't read all of that. Okay, I did see, what's this? No exams for Illinois. I don't know what that is. The Texas boards. There's a structural exam. The state of New York. Okay, he did pass his fundamentals in 2009. And he did his civil in 2011. And he took a structural in 2018. So I'll make a motion that we approve Mr. Justin Stoltz for.
Second.
So it's moved and seconded. Who's second? I'm sorry.
I did.
Thanks, John. All those in favor of the motion to approve Mr. Justin Stoltz for Class 4 reciprocity, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Well done.
We are.
All right. So we're all set for December 12th.
Did
Right.
Motion to adjourn.
Tony, did we have to vote on the dates? Or did we?
We didn't officially vote, you're right. December 9th. So the list has been presented for the meetings next year. Any objections? If not, is there a motion to approve those meeting dates?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Robert. The second?
Second.
Thanks, John. All those in favor of the motion to approve the meeting dates for 2021, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And Al
Motion to adjourn.
Thanks.
has to do his job. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Richard. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn until December 9th, say aye.
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 Ray is supposed to be sending his official notice somewhere along the line. I'll have to ask him if he did that. He was going to send it to you, Barbara, but
Yeah.
that'll be a void. And hopefully we'll get another surveyor soon. What's the process right now? If he notifies you and you send it to the governor's office, that's all we can do, right? For
Yes, I will contact the assistant to the commissioner. Alan DeMea usually has contact with them. So most likely, if anyone's interested or they have somebody in mind or whatever the case may be, they'd have to fill out a form for an application.
Okay.
But I will notify the Alan DeMea, as I said, she's the assistant to the commissioner, and she usually deals with a lot of these issues at the governor's office, so she can at least point me in the right direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Thank
Sure.
Everybody-
Stay healthy.
All
See
right.
everybody later.
Happy Thanksgiving.